Hello and welcome to TheAIbumMan, and I thought it was time to catch up on some of my concert reviews because I've been lagging behind badly, as in I've really been very badly lagging behind. So I thought today let's just get them out of the way, let's get them done, and I'm going to start with Black Sabbath, who I saw back in December. Yes, clearly nice and early, definitely not nearly 3 months ago. But yeah, December the 18th, 2013, at the M.E.N in Manchester, or Phones4U Arena as it's now called. I still can't quite get used to that name, it's quite silly to me. And yes, so of course Black Sabbath came back with 13 in 2013, the aptly named album, and fantastic. I mean, one of my favourite albums of that year. I think number 2 or 3, I can't quite remember, but yeah, certainly one of the best albums of that year, and just a monumental metal album and comeback album as well, just absolutely fantastic. For, of course, Aussie era Sabbath, because we did a few years ago have The Devil You Know by Heaven and Hell, which for all intents and purposes was Black Sabbath, really. So, what did they play on this final leg of their UK tour? Well, they played the classics. They played War Pigs, Into the Void, Under the Suns, Every Day Comes and Goes, Snowblind, Black Sabbath, Behind the Wall of Sleep, N.I.B, End of the Beginning, that's from Fairies, Wear Boots, Rat Salad, Iron Man, Dirty Woman, Children of the Grave, and Paranoid to end with. And then from the new album, they played, Age of Reason, End of the Beginning, God is Dead. And then Zeitgeist was sort of the outros as they went off stage. So yeah, so what did I think of the set list then? Was there anything I would change about it? Not really. I mean, it was a fantastic set list from their older stuff. Also had some new songs. I'm pleased they played 3 songs to the new album, and they're pretty much the 3 songs I wanted. I mean, certainly God is Dead and Ends at the Beginning, Age of Reason. I'd say, yeah, I'd say that was very good. The only slight disappointment was they didn't play anything off of Sabbath Bloody Sabbath. I mean, I think it was Children of the Grave that had part of the intro. TheAIbumMan played a bit of the intro for Sabbath Bloody Sabbath, but I would like to have had at least something from that album. Probably the title track, but I'd like something, maybe instead of Dirty Woman. I know that's as a fan favourite. I'm not huge on this. I mean, it's a strong song, but it's not one of my favourite Sabbath songs. I think there's definitely better songs out there. But, in general, it was a very, very strong set, and ending on Paranoid, that was just absolutely fantastic. No, it was Paranoid that had the intro of Sabbath Bloody Sabbath, not Children of the Grave. Yeah, it was Paranoid. So, what about the performance then? Can Ozzy still sing? Iommi still play guitar? Geezer on bass? And what about Tommy Clouseau on drums? Well, we'll start with Ozzy, because his voice in recent years has been pretty bad. It hasn't been great. I mean, you listen to his last solo album, Scream, which is just caked in auto-tune, and it's just horrible. But yeah, on 13, he seemed to sing pretty damn well. He really did. But I had a feeling it could be sort of the Meatloaf style of recording, where you basically record the same line, and have a bit of a rest, record another line. You record the lines lots and lots of times until you get it right. Ozzy is not someone nowadays who can do something in one take. But yet here, he really seemed to quite perform. I think they down-tuned slightly. I can never quite tell, honestly. I'm not good at telling that type of thing, but I've heard they down-tuned a bit to suit his voice. I mean, a lot of the old Black Sabbath songs just don't require a huge vocal range. They really don't. I mean, N.I.B, Behind the Wall of Sleep, they don't require huge ranges. And Ozzy's voice, yeah, he was able to hit the notes. I mean, he didn't hit any hugely high notes, but there were some times where he did have to go fairly high-ish, and he did pretty damn well, I have to say. His voice was very good. I mean, it was quite surprisingly good. I wasn't expecting he was going to have it remain so well throughout the whole of the concert, but he did. And then Tony Iommi on guitar, wow, that was the highlight. I think it's hard to deny that his guitar playing was the highlight. I mean, he played just as well as he ever has. I mean, when I've seen footage and heard live tracks from back in the 70s, he seems to play pretty much just as well. He can play just as fast on the fast bits, and he can play just as doomy and brooding and ominous on the slower bits. Just fantastic. I mean, he just shows why he is one of the greatest guitar players of all time. I mean, just hands down one of the greatest guitar players of all time, in my opinion. I can't think of many metal guitarists, if not any, that are greater than him. I think he's just such a genius. And then Geezer Butler, I'm very pleased he was so high in the mix. Actually, his bass was really audible, because I always think he's a bit underrated. I mean, he's, always credited for his lyrics, because of course on the Ozzy era stuff, Ozzy didn't really write any of the lyrics. Geezer wrote the lyrics, and his lyrics are pretty decent, but it's his bass work that is really so fantastic. His slap style bass, it really just drives the songs along, makes them really hit home. It's a crucial part of Black Sabbath's sound, and I think he's definitely, as far as I'm concerned, him and Iommi are the indispensable members of Black Sabbath, and the other two, they can be changed without too much of a detrimental impact to the sound. Of course, that's just my opinion. I know some people swear by Ozzy and swear by Bill Ward. Yeah, Geezer's bass, certainly not something to be underestimated. And then Tommy Clouseau. This is interesting, because of course we have Brad Wilk on the new album. So I was sort of expecting him to tour. I didn't realise until I looked at the guy. It's like, either Brad Wilk has changed look completely, or this is somebody different, and it's probably Tommy Clouseau, and it in fact was, who originally did try and play the drums for 13, but I believe that then, I don't know, he just didn't work with them. So I'm not quite sure why he was the live drummer, why not Brad Wilk. I honestly don't know. But what I can say is that goddamn is this Tommy Clouseau guy a good drummer. I mean, seriously, he is a good drummer. Yeah, he impressed me an awful lot. I mean, particularly in his drum solo, which was, Rat Salad. He played a drum solo, and it was absolutely fantastic. I mean, one of the best drum solos I've ever seen live. And I'm very fussy about drum solos. I'm not a huge fan of them, and they have to be done really quite well to impress me. But this really did. It was an interesting drum solo. It wasn't just technical. It had, had a good rhythm to it, and yeah, it was a very well done drum solo. But then just throughout the other songs, he really managed to capture that spirit. Yeah, he didn't quite have that jazzy flair that Bill Ward did as more of a classically trained drummer, but Tommy Clouseau definitely propels the songs along very nicely and does a very good job of filling Bill Ward's shoes. No doubt about that. I mean, Bill Ward's a fantastic drummer, not dissing him, but I've heard he can't keep time that much anymore, so maybe Tommy Clouseau was the better choice. I'm not quite sure. Overall, I mean, just such a fantastic show, just breathtaking, one of the best metal concerts I've ever seen in my entire life, and certainly one of the best concerts I saw overall in 2013. Just a fantastic live band. If I'm not sure where they're touring next or how much they're touring in 2014, but if they're coming anywhere near you and you haven't seen them, then I implore you to do so, because it's certainly an opportunity I can't see happening again. It seems Geezer doesn't really want to continue after he's finished touring this at the moment, and I don't think Tony Iommi really, or even Ozzy. So yeah, definitely catch them while you can, and they're definitely worth the money and effort to go and see them. This has been TheAIbumMan. Thanks for watching my concert review of Black Sabbath, and as usual, long live rock and roll.